the annual show where Derek Stevens and Mike Palm, they come in studio, the owner/CEO and VP respectively here of Circa Resort and Casino, and they tell you everything that you need to know for the upcoming contests, Circa Million and Circa Survivor. Fellas, it's great to see you today. How are you?
Terrific. Great to see you guys. Love being back here.
All right.
Good morning, Mitch. Good morning, Paul. Good morning. Good morning, Derek. Good morning. Presque Isle, Maine, our loyal family watching on Nesson, Danville, Illinois, Peekaboo Marquee, we see you. Fort Hope, Ontario, O Canada, watching on Rogers Sportsnet, Uniontown, Pennsylvania, in the Pittsburgh area, viewing us on AT&T, and Redlands, California, sunrise over Spectrum. We say good morning.
Beautiful. You got to get it in.
There you go.
Do you guys enjoy this? Like in the weeks that it takes to discuss this with everybody behind the book, the amount of hours you put into this, the thought process, the back and forth, what's the guarantee going to be? How many entries do we allow? All of the new rules that you're going to add to the contests?
Yeah, we do.
You do.
We do. You know, we try to get a bit of a framework going. Let's say about a month or so after Super Bowl. Just try to get a framework going. Start thinking about, what do you think we can do, this upcoming year, and then after putting a general framework together, then we got to kind of sit and wait. You got to wait till the schedule release comes out because that could impact so many things. We were a little surprised about something that occurred, which from a contest perspective was really terrific, was the Christmas Monday triple header. So that was really the first domino that had to fall. Like, okay, we can do a week that way, and then kind of go from there. But we love coming up with this little tweaks and things like that. I thought it was a lot of fun. Mike, what did you think of the process?
It's interesting because sometimes the best laid plans of mice and men, and we'll get into it when we get into the weeds of Survivor, but you come up with a plan, and then when you get a fresh set of eyes on it, somebody says, well, but I don't think that works, and you have to call audibles at the last minute.
Sure.
Changing the rules as late as, last Thursday before we send them out to legal to get their sign off on them. It's an interesting process, obviously. There's pushing and pulling about what's the guarantee going to be and where do we settle on it and what people's projections are, and everybody has a different opinion, and at the end of the day you could try to come to some sort of consensus and then go like hell to get there.
Well, how about a question for both of you? And you're the king of the North, but has this exceeded your expectations going back, and you became the top dog here in contests, and what you did was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's not lost on me that 5 years ago we came up with this football contest, and we felt, well, we were the new upstart,
right,
that we needed to do something a little bit different, which was put a guarantee out there because we felt that we needed to have some credibility, and we put a number out. Weren't sure if we were going to be able to make it or not, and then that first year kind of took off, and then we talked about it. We figured, well, we learned a little bit here and there, and then we bumped it from $1.5 million, then we went to $3 million, and then just start ramping it up from there. And I would say for myself, really our team, we all learned a little bit more about marketing. We learned a little bit more about bringing people out, and I'm telling you, the people that play these contests, obviously a lot of VEASAN followers and fans. These are passionate football fans. I mean, everybody that participates, and we get to see on sign-up weekends or when they're winning or they're coming out hedging and play. And it's great. These are great people. It's exactly who we want to hang around, have a beer with. It's pretty awesome.
You go back 5 years, and from there to here, and you think about how important that first year was with the 1.5. I don't know who was Circa Sports.
Right.
Nobody ever heard. This building wasn't here yet.
Yeah.
It was run out of the Golden Gate over here, right? And at the D on the second floor. And it said 1.5. Who even knows what it is, and how you're going to get 1,500 entries, and we wrung our hands and make a late push and all that. But that's really what started it, that very aggressive first year that allowed to build to where we are now.
Yeah.
Remember that decision we had to make? What's the pricing going to be? $1,000.
Yeah.
Then was 1,000 the right number? Remember, yes. Everyone else was either 1,500 or maybe 5,000, or then what should it be 500?
Right.
But 1,000 was the right number. It's definitely the right number. We're pretty happy about that call.
And so both contests are going to remain 1,000.
Yeah, it's worked so far.
Okay, so we'll get into the entries, how many people can get this year. But also you, Derek, this is another reason why you're so fun to be around and so great to be associated with. You like to have a lot of fun with the commercials that you make as well. and you incorporate people from the book, people here from VSiN. And so why don't we find out what the guarantee is from the latest commercial airing here from Circa Sports.
Hey, Derek, what's the guarantee?
Hey, Derek, what's the guarantee?
The biggest pro football contests in Vegas are back.
So big that we needed to use an armored truck.
We're guaranteeing more than we did last year, $14 million to be exact. Circa Survivor entrants pick one game each week, no point spread. Last the longest to win it all.
Players in the Circa Millions make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts.
All right, Mike, let's get this dough to the Cape.
Visit.
All right, very good.
Wow.
There you go. There's the breaking news. $6 million guaranteed for Circa Millions and $8 million guaranteed for Circa Survivor. How did you guys land on those two numbers?
Well, last year we did 6 and 6, and we ended up with a little over 6.1 million in Survivor. So, I mean, you guys have said it. We like to grow a little bit, so we wanted to push ourselves a little bit. So we pushed Survivor up to 8 million. We think there's a chance we can get there. We want to put a goal number out. Still an additional 2 million we're guaranteeing on Survivor. We wanted to focus in on that total amount. That was a key element, and bump that one. And the 6 million in the millions. A couple great things happened. These brothers, these kids that won, they were pretty terrific ambassadors last year. They had a lot of fun, and they'll be back. But the reality is we only did 4.5 million, and we got to grow into it. We probably bit off more than we could chew last year. So now we got to take the millions contest and kind of grow into it. Is kind of how it happened. So. We went back and forth with some numbers. We all had different input. Jeff Benson, Mike, myself, and we settled on 8 and 6 this year.
Good move, and I think 10,000 is realistic for Survivor. You agree?
Really?
10,000 entries. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple tweaks. Maybe I'll agree. Mike's got some more of the details.
I think that the second headline here is that we've increased the max number of entries for each contest. So traditionally you'd been able to buy 3 entries in the millions. That goes up to 5. Ooh. And 6 entries for Survivor is now 10.
10. Yeah, there it is.
There you go.
I think
there's your big boy.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the key move in order to be able to get to 8, or as Paulie says, maybe even 10.
Yeah.
I tell you honestly, we went back and forth with different numbers, and what total was going to be 12, 13, 14, 15, and back and forth. And I actually said I lean towards 9 and 5 with the guarantees, because I think this 10 entries in Survivor, to your point,
game changer,
could be.
Absolutely.
There were 368 people that did 6 entries last year, right? So if they did 10, right, you're already at another 1,300. If half of them did it, you're already at another 650. You're getting close to 7 million already.
Well,
plus all the new people.
Yeah.
And plus all the people that did 1 last year and got knocked out and said, I got to do 3, 4, 5, however many, right?
Yeah. Well, who was the guy? Remember the guy who won it 2 years ago? He brought his family out, the whole family. I mean, how many people are going to do that now? Got the brother, the sister, the dog, the cat. I mean, everyone.
The mailman.
I mean, that's the way to. How many people are going to do that now? Just bring the whole family out there. I mean, that guy. Yeah. There was a couple people that did that. So you have that in play too. You think 10,000 realistic?
Oh, I don't know, Ray. I'd be happy if we get to 8 million. That'll be once again the biggest football contest in history, and I'd be real happy if we get to 8. But I mean, the bigger it gets, the better it gets.
Right.
Of course. I mean, it's not like we're going to lay off the gas. If we get to 8 million with a week to go, I mean, we're going to keep pushing it.
Great.
This is that'd be pretty amazing to get to a number like that.
You at some point, maybe not this year, but at some point, I would bet. I would make a nice size bet that contest will get to 10,000 entries.
Well, the 8 this year sort of sets the trajectory towards 10 next year.
I think so.
And I hope we get there, and we're not talking here and we end up with 6-5 and we have a big overlay. But I think that sort of sets the trajectory. And you said it 2 years ago. One day this contest will have 10,000 entries.
I think more than that. I really do.
I'm with you. Yeah. No doubt. Absolutely.
I said this earlier. The one thing that Las Vegas forgot about for several years is that people outside of the city like to get creative and not just concentrate on point spreads or totals. You're from the Midwest. I'm from the Midwest. Mike, people from the Northeast, the South, outside of where it was legal at the time, they would play whatever contest they could, and Survivor was a monster outside of Las Vegas. And to be the first person to incorporate that into a contest was, incredible. Obviously, and it's paying off now.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know. I mean, I've loved playing in these.
Look at this.
I got for so long. Oh yeah, let me show,
baby. Get those
hold
up.
this up. Look at this. These are the handy dandy handy dandy notebook version. These will be in the gift shops here at the D at Circa. Nice color coded, lets you know everything you need to know. And of course, these could fit on your fridge or whatever you want to do. But these are the ones that you need to have. Everybody ought to have one of these in their office. Ought to have one if you're single in your bedroom. I don't want to get anybody divorced. Maybe your living room. But look at this one. This you can see from across the room. Yeah. Just in case somebody calls you, you can just look like this. Look at a glance. You gotta know what's going on. It's like, this is what I've been looking at for the last 3 days. I cannot believe what's going on in week 5. I'm still scratching my head. We could get into that in the next segment.
Those are available later on today?
Yes, they are.
Beautiful. And we'll also discuss the flexing Monday and Thursday nights, Black Friday, Thanksgiving, Christmas Day, all coming up next. Well, they told us in the first segment the guarantees this year. $6 million is the guarantee for Circa Millions. You can get up to 5 entries in that contest. And the new guarantee for Circa Survivor is $8 million, and you can get up to 10 entries in that contest. So we all knew that the league was going to tinker with their scheduling this year. And we found out what those rules were in recent weeks. First of all, the Monday night flex scheduling is a part of it, and that can take place between weeks 12 and 17. Along with that, we now have Thursday night flex scheduling, which can take place between weeks 13 and 17. What were the discussions regarding the new rules with the league, and how tricky do you think this could potentially be?
Well, that was something back when this first came out back a few months ago. We all went back and started scratching our head like, uh-oh, we could be in trouble here. How are we gonna run these contests if we're scheduling teams on different days and we don't know in advance? There's no way to prepare in week 3, week 4, hold the team back. How are you gonna handle it from a Survivor perspective? So that was a concern. Once it came up that effectively what they're doing is taking just a Sunday Monday mix, a little bit of a Thursday mix. We're keeping all those weeks into a single week. We thought, okay, we can get through it. The tough thing was trying to figure out what we were going to do on Christmas, because initially we did not think there would be a triple header on Christmas. We just thought it would be a Monday, could be flexed to a big game. So then, how was this going to work out? So that was the biggest concern. In years past, we did take one thing, we changed it a little bit. We really wanted to focus on the total payout. So for Circa Survivor of $8 million, we used to have a bonus in there, that $1 million bonus, and it just didn't work, because what we were going to do, we thought we were going to have to go back to a 19 event tournament, not 20 like we've done the last couple of years. And with the thoughts that there's going to be more people, more entrants this year, we thought, we don't want to have a situation where there's 200 entrants that go undefeated if you go down to 19. So what we initially had toyed with was taking all 4 teams that made Championship Sunday that you had to hold back. The problem with that is once they came out with the Christmas schedule, all of a sudden, former VEASAN employee Aaron Oster came up and goes, "Hey guys, we got a problem. It's going to look disingenuous because that's pretty much you're not going to be able to take anybody on Christmas." I'm like, it's a different way of looking at it. I think, Mike, that's what you were referring to.
Yeah, that's what the last minute changed. It's Raiders at Chiefs, Giants at Eagles, Ravens at 49ers.
Yeah.
So if that's the rule to make the million, you'd have to take a road dog on Christmas, which is, that's not the intent of the bonus.
Oh, that's a good catch then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for us, what we thought was, the bonus is one thing. I kind of liked it initially we didn't do it in year 1, but I liked it in the year 2, year 3 of Survivor, because what it did is it changed a little bit more of the game theory. It kind of mixed up some people's thought process in week 3 and week 5 and created a better diversification of selections. But at some point, that little tweak. I mean, this is a positive EV thing anyway, so we don't have to add more positive EV into this deal.
Yeah.
So we just thought, okay, let's focus on the total amount. Let's get this thing up to $8 million and go that route.
Who can forget 2 years ago, Billy the Kid? With the Chiefs.
Yeah.
How good was that?
That's right.
Wanted more of the fumble?
Yeah.
What are you shaking your head for? Mike, the fumble inside the 10-yard line. Wanted more on the Chiefs.
What a middle he had. What a middle.
Yeah, he's a gambler. Good for him. Worked out for Billy. Okay. So these, as of now, these are only available. You have to come to the property.
Yeah,
people love these things.
They're available at the gift shop at the D. They're available at both gift shops here at Circa, and $9.95 for this one. We lowered the price over here.
Good.
Big one's a little more, I think $29.95. But yeah, that's part of the deal. You got to come here and pick them up.
What were you talking about? Week 5.
Week 5.
Salivating.
This is unbelievable. I mean, we always talk about what do you got to do on Thanksgiving week. Well, of course, this year you're going to hold back on the Lions. You're going to hold back on Dallas, of course. I mean, those are your couple options to hold back for Thanksgiving. You get to Christmas, Mike. You just read them off here. I mean, effectively, are you gonna take Philadelphia? Is this when you're going to do it? Or are you going to take it was Kansas City, right?
Kansas City or the 49ers.
Yeah, I mean, but the 49ers are playing Baltimore, so that's a little bit different. So it's going to be Kansas City, in all likelihood you're holding back at Christmas. But on week 5, look at this. Week 5, this is just brutal. Who the probably the biggest favorite is going to be the Lions, and it's going to be a shorter favorite. The Lions, but then are you going to blow one of your opportunities, one of your chips for Thanksgiving? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Then you keep looking down. Look down. Week 5. It just there's just nothing that stands out. A lot of good teams are on the road. Maybe. And I know some people won't do it just because it's a cardinal sin taking a road team. You're going to take the Bengals. Maybe the Bengals. At Arizona. But there's just not a lot of options. I think on the early lines I saw, there was not a single team that was more than a 6-point favorite in week 5. There was no big 11, 12-point favorite. Nothing like that.
Interesting.
I'm looking at the numbers right now, Derek. The biggest favorite currently on the board that week, Cincinnati minus 7.5 against Arizona.
Oh, on the road. The road favorite went up. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But other than that, I mean, okay, Eagles are 6 on the road against the Rams. The Dolphins are 5 against the Giants. But you have a lot of games that are 1, 3 in between those two numbers. So the majority of the games are actually falling around field goal or less than that, actually.
Yeah, and you just mentioned the two biggest favorites are two road. They're road teams. Yeah, and a lot of people just aren't going to take a road team early.
That's right. That's right.
Well, let's just put all 10 entries on the Chiefs week 1 against Detroit. Get the gimme. Then we advance, right?
I think that's one of the things we added in last year. Worked out pretty well. I mean. Here's the deal on the limits. You can have up to 10 by the time you go into that Saturday at cutoff time. So, for example, you could take 10 on the Chiefs on opening night Thursday night, and if the Lions pull an upset, you can rebuy back in.
That's right.
Or you could go the other way. You put all 10 on the Lions.
That's right.
And then you can rebuy. So it kind of gives you a little bit more of a. Now you got to have a bankroll to do it. Of course. You got to have a bankroll to do it. But it gives you a little more of a slide into week 2.
I would assume that the Thanksgiving week is going to be along with Black Friday.
Correct.
Right. So now this year it's going to be 4 games, and they're going to have a Black Friday game every year moving forward. So we can expect that. By the way, your current numbers on Thanksgiving Day: Lions are 4 at home to the Packers, Cowboys 6 to the Commanders. 49ers 1 at Seattle, and the Jets are 2.5 at home to the Dolphins on Black Friday.
Just on those windows for picks, we can say it now and we'll remind people 1,000 times. 10 p.m. Pacific Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. Your picks are due for the Thursday or Friday game. And then 9 a.m. on Christmas morning, the picks due for Christmas Day.
They have 9 a.m. until Christmas morning.
9 a.m. Pacific time.
Was
Christmas
it last
morning.
year tricky because it was on New Year's Day? And, I mean, people come to town like, right? Because games, I think, were played on New Year's Day last year on a Sunday, if I recall correctly.
I believe so. I know there was the turnaround with Christmas and Christmas Eve and that, and I know it was especially tough for the proxies with that time frame in the evening on Christmas Eve.
For those people who are listening who have never done this before, we have like 90 seconds here. Yeah. Explain to them how they can get into this and then use a proxy.
What, Mike?
Okay, so you have to enter in Nevada. You have to come to one of our properties in Nevada, whether it's the properties here in Las Vegas or in Sparks in northern Nevada at Legends Bay, and register here. But then you can play through a proxy, a designee that you have that puts your picks in, because the picks must be entered within the geofence boundaries of the state of Nevada each week. There's many proxy services out there. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us or Jeff Benson. They advertise online as well. They're very reputable. But if we didn't have proxies, these contests would be probably about 1/10 of the size of what they are now, because it would only be Nevada residents or people driving in every weekend from California. So it's a very seamless transaction. You can call, talk to the different proxies. A lot of people have long-term relationships with their proxies, but that's how you play these contests from all over the country.
Very cool. Okay, so we'll flip Circa Millions upside down coming up next. What are the rules this year for the booby prizes, right? And for the quarterlies, which have become a big deal in recent years as well. We'll continue with Derek Stevens and Mike Palm from Circa Resort and Casino next year, and follow the money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Derek is the owner and CEO. Mike Palm joins us every Thursday in studio. He is the VP of this outstanding property in downtown Las Vegas. So let's look at the other side now of the contest here with Circa Millions, Circa Survivor. But with Millions, the booby prize has gotten, I don't know what the word might be, but it's fun to track. It's fascinating, and people, once they start doing poorly in the contest, are like, well, how do we continue this? We just got to be as bad as possible, because you guys pay off for the worst record in the entire event. So what are the new rules? What are the new payments for the booby prizes?
So there's the standard, $100,000 for the worst record season long, and $50,000 for second, half a booby. The quarters actually paying out $300,000 when you consider the booby as well. So it's broken down by quarters in the contest. $150,000 for first, $60,000 for second, $40,000 for third, $15,000 for fourth, and $10,000 for fifth. So that's $275,000, and then the worst record each quarter also wins $25,000. So giving away $300,000.
Great job.
Each quarter. Still going 100 deep, with the first place being $1 million. Obviously, adding the $2 million in increases those payouts as you go down the ladder as well. And then any excess, same as last year, if we get over $6,000 in the million, it's split equally between all 100 places for the season-long prizes, and then the first place in each quarter. So, if we did 8,000, let's just say, entries, that's an extra $2 million. $1 million would get split amongst all the 100 places, and $1 million would get split amongst the quarterly winners. So the quarterly winner, you add $250 onto the $150, be worth $400,000 a quarter if that happened. But that's how you take care of the excess.
What did the quarterlies pay last year?
I believe it was $250 each, a total of $1 million.
Million two.
Yeah.
It was $1 million
too.
So the winner, the best record every quarter gets $150,000.
Correct, and there could be ties.
Of course there could
Although
be.
there wasn't a lot of ties. For
no, that was a little surprising. We thought we'd have a lot more chops in the quarters. Somebody goes 18-2. We thought that we'd see a few more chops. We just didn't get a lot of chops last year in the quarters. It's amazing how streaky everybody got. There's always seemed to have one or two entries that really jumped up there. But the quarterlies are a lot of fun. It keeps everybody going. You guys know what it's like. Let's just say you have a bad September.
Right.
You don't want to get disillusioned. So I love the quarterly element. Plus, it brings people out throughout the fall. It's pretty awesome.
Well, the strategy too. Like Mike always talks about, when do you go for it? Plus, when they're from Denver, how about the guys last year? They had no idea till they look up like, we can win this damn thing. And it's hard to pick winners. So how about picking losers? Those guys walked away with it. That group that won the booby prize.
That's where, like, the last week of every quarter, I think it really does impact a little bit of strategy, because you really got to think about: do I want to take the Sunday night game? Do I want to include the Monday game on my card for that weekend? There's a lot of reasons to think you may want to do that.
Okay, Mike. The most popular question we get every time you guys talk about this, right? Are the contests going to be available in your other states where Circa's available?
Yeah.
And just to address this, because we get peppered on Twitter and email every single time. So go ahead.
Yeah, not this year. It's not happening. Now, we're going to hopefully be open in Illinois in August. That's fingers crossed here, with crossing some technology and one more regulatory hurdle there with Full House. But we hope one day to be able that, our right in those states is to the point where you could offer your own contest, and maybe That's Illinois in 3 years when they have the permanent facility, or maybe it's a mini contest. I know my folks in Iowa have been begging for a mini Survivor for a few years. We're not there yet at this point in those other states, but hopefully we can grow this business enough that the possibility of each state being able to offer their own. But we're not there yet.
I mean, one of the key things when people ask about, well, with gambling now, sports wagering now available in so many additional states, why can't you do it on an app? And the one thing I have to tell everybody is, for us, we got a lot of cost to run this. It's getting the software up and going and the compliance and all this type of stuff. And we're trying to do this in a manner that kind of that fits our brand. We're trying to give good value, and we're not taking any rake out of this at all. I mean, the whole GAF here is pretty simple. The GAF is, we want people to come and visit our properties. And maybe if you come to Circa, maybe you're going to like it. Maybe you'll go spend a little bit of time at Stadium Swim. Maybe you'll buy a hotel room. That's kind of the whole deal. If it was just the contest alone and people could sign up from around the country, then we'd have to figure out a way where there's a cut to cover all the costs associated with this. So for us, the whole gap is we want people to come and visit us in Las Vegas, and in return for that, we're putting on a contest that takes no break. We
got to tweak with Derek's mic here in a second, because I think something happened there. Can I throw an idea at you, put you on the spot here, about down the road maybe for Survivor? Because your level of play here goes from the lowest level into Maverick and then into Legend. How about you do something like Survivor Legend in a couple of years, where that contest is like $5,000 to enter? Would you ever consider something like that? So the field's going to go down, but the payout's still going to be pretty. I'm telling you, you'll get enough players to make that contest big. Would you ever consider something like that?
It might be a pretty good idea, bitch.
Let's get to 10,000.
We'll talk about adding something else.
Then we'll do your gold. Survivor gold.
The gold. All right.
Survivor gold.
Yeah.
I want to talk about it. People ask, I got to come out and I'm going to sign up. Can I get a break on a room? Can I get a room in that? So I just want to go through with everybody what we call the full house or different variations of it. Last year, with 6 and 3, we said 9 was a full house, and if you did 5, you got a certain room. So if you did do the full 15, 10 in Survivor and 5 in the Millions, that's a true full house. You'd get 3 nights at any of our properties, and if you stay Sunday through Thursday, that would be a suite. If you do 10 combined entries between the two, and maybe it's just all 10 Survivor, that would be a 3-night stay at the D or the Gate, or if you wanted to stay at Circa with an upgrade. 5 to 9 entries will get you 3 nights at a casino rate at any of the properties, and even 1 entry up to 4 entries get you 1 night at a casino rate. So anybody coming out here and they need a room, they're going to come out and sign up. There's a package involved for you. You talk to the manager at the book at the window, Jeff Benson, and his crew to line that up with the hotel.
When is your special contest weekend going to take place?
That is going to be August 24th, Thursday, through technically Sunday the 27th. We're going to have a meet and greet at Bar Canada on that Thursday night, a pool day on Friday, and then my panel on Saturday afternoon as well.
Very cool. The Golden Knights are playing again tonight. And Derek, you were all over the place during the game on national TV, social media. You were right behind the glass. It was great. You were really into the game. What's your liability, the book here, if the Knights win the Western Conference and if they win the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, I mean, Western Conference, actually, we're not really in bad shape on. It's in the Stanley Cup.
That's it, okay.
I mean, obviously in Vegas, this is a pretty beloved team here, and they had a little bit longer odds earlier, so all these $100, $500, $1,000 bets started adding up. So we're I think it's about $500,000. It's not we're not in that bad a situation, not like we were with the Lakers a couple days ago.
Lakers would have been bad.
Lakers were a bad outcome for us.
So explain why you need the Golden Knights to win this thing as a businessman. Why you need them to win it all at home.
Well, we did the jersey patch with them, and the way the NHL works, the jersey patches are only for home teams to be able to sell and to be worn on home games. I mean, we need the Golden Knights to win the Stanley Cup. We need all these iconic pictures. Mm-hmm. And they got to be wearing their home uniform with the patch. If they win this thing in a Game 6 in Florida, I'm going to be so disappointed.
Yeah. So you need to catch a break here at some point.
Maybe once.
How about the Musgrove thing? Didn't Musgrove throw the no-hitter on the road?
Yeah. On the road,
your Padre
Texas,
beat.
yeah.
Yeah. Jesus, Derek. Come on.
One day, Derek. One day, things will start smelling rosy for you. Yeah.
You think they finish them off tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to you guys earlier today. I mean, it was a pretty good take, I thought, with your guest earlier and at about 5 a.m. or something like that.
Yeah.
That, and it was really something, saying just how things have kind of fallen apart for Dallas here. It's hard to see them coming back at this point now. With the goalie situation, captain situation, it's pretty tough to see it come back.
We'll continue here with Derek Stevens, the owner and CEO of Circa Resort and Casino, and the VP, Mike Palm. The book here has a new sportsbook director. Does that mean any changes are coming? And a big sporting event is coming to Las Vegas this summer. Would Derek ever consider something like this at his property? Some news this week here at the Sportsbook. Back in 2019, you guys hired a tremendous team. And part of that, the guy who spearheaded everything was Matt Metcalf. He was the sportsbook director. He announced on Twitter this week that he is stepping down. He's going to remain. His role is going to be independent consultant. So in steps Chris Bennett, deservedly so. He's awesome. Again, Bennett's great. Jeff Davis is phenomenal. Does this mean anything for how you guys operate as a sportsbook?
Well, I would say first off, our relationship with Matt Metcalf is still terrific. And Matt's gonna work with myself, with CB, with Jeff, with Mike, and as his tweet said, he's gonna help be like a consigliere to us a bit. And Matt, very simply, I mean, people got to understand this is a tough job. I mean the amount of sleep or lack thereof. The amount of stress that goes into it was really something. So for Matt, we are happy for him. We're still going to be seeing him around often. He's really the one that helped set some of the thought process here to help build Circa Sports. I mean, if you go back 5 years ago, one of our mantras was we're going to write tickets. We're going to write tickets. I mean, I don't think I say it as much anymore. Mike says it as much, but we want to write tickets. We're running a low hold model, and we're going to write. And that's not changing. So Matt kind of set the table, part of our first batch, but nothing's changing with CB in charge of the risk room or Jeff Benson or Mike or I. None of that. Nothing else is changing.
You've done a great job in free agency too, getting Bacheleri and Bogdanovich. And we love Jeff Davis. You're always thinking of stuff. The crew back there. I love what they put up Sunday with the McElroy block head-to-head matchup too. I imagine that this block story is incredible, and I think you guys sent out Rory a $6 favor and he had to hang on for dear life and fade the hole in one. How good was that? So great job by your crew.
Yeah, very well respected, Matt and everybody else.
Well, the team that Matt put together is really, I think, his shining achievement with us. And the first two guys he hired were Chris Bennett and Jeff Benson. Of course, they're still here running the operations, one from the risk room and one from the front of house. I was reminded of when Howard Schnellenberger left Miami. He was going to take over that USFL franchise, and the headline writers wrote, Schnellenberger tears down sandcastles. So the sandcastles are still here.
Okay.
Matt's just going to travel a little bit more and have a little more freedom right now.
I want to ask you this, Derek, because we got news this week that a big boxing match is coming to Las Vegas at the end of July at the T-Mobile. That's going to be Spence versus Crawford. A lot of excitement here. And boxing certainly isn't what it used to be in this city when it was just epic. And when I moved out here in 2001, it was still very big. I think the outside fights were basically gone at that point. But to go see a De La Hoya fight and the people watch at the MGM was just as good as it gets, or some of these other properties. Would you ever consider, or have you ever had discussions about potentially getting in the mix for, bidding for, whatever it takes, to landing a big boxing match and, I don't know, putting it outside at Stadium Swim?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think everybody knows I love boxing, and I love boxing in Vegas. We did that 10-fight series in the first year of our event center at right behind the D with Roy Jones Jr. as the promoter, and we had a lot of great fights. If I'm not mistaken, I think Devin Haney was we had his first 2 professional fights out there. So we love putting on boxing matches. We're working with a couple of very well-known former boxers and promoters currently, but we would love to do something like that, whether it's at Stadium Swim or at our event center. Really depends upon. I mean, the Stadium Swim's not going to hold 10,000 people, where our event center certainly can. When we did this 10-fight series, it was on, I think, CBS Sports on that year. There's a certain electricity in Las Vegas for outdoor fights. I mean, I fell in love with outdoor fights watching, back when I was chasing Lennox Lewis, back when I was chasing, Holyfield, Bo, the Fan Man fight and everything in the back of Caesars. Yeah. All these outdoor fights, there's something about the air and the sky in Vegas. There's electricity out there. So I love outdoor fights. And, we definitely have venues that we'd love to be in the mix for.
I saw you last night. Oh, go ahead. You were at Power Slap.
It's unbelievable.
Oh my God!
You wouldn't have believed this Power Slap. We wrote on every one. We booked nine slaps, right? And I'm sitting there with Dana White, Lorenzo Fertitta says, I go, hey, Lorenzo, are you booking? He goes, yeah, we're booking. He goes, I know you guys are booking every one. He goes, thanks for booking it. This was unbelievably enjoyable. I mean, it is crazy.
How loud is it? When the guy unleashes hell?
Oh my God. When he gets them, I mean, start to learn, no clubbing, no, right. lot of fouls, all this.
Yeah.
But you score it like on a 10-point must system. Uh-huh. So the first round, 10-9, 10-9, 9-10, that type of thing. But then there's a lot of minuses, a lot of deductions. You can get a deduction even if you win the round. So there's a lot of strategy that goes into this thing, and it is enjoyable. It is made for betting as well. I mean, this like this little card. You're not going to bet one. You're gonna take a round robin of sixes.
Okay.
I mean, that's what we're looking at. It is a lot of fun, and I think for those of you that have not watched this, once you do, you can't get your eyes off it.
Yeah.
And this thing's going to explode. I mean, obviously Dana White is a pretty good marketer, right? So,
no doubt.
This thing's going to take off. Well, I feel very comfortable with that.
And I have to ask, because I'm sitting next to a billionaire, of course, what's new and exciting at Taco Bell?
Taco Bell. After Power Slap, Nicole and I went there.
Sure. Yeah.
We went to Power.
Of course, you have to.
Walking around Lucky last night, my bill. First time I actually told her.
You go over $50?
No. But what I did is I hit it like to the exact figure. It was exactly 40.00. Hit exactly 40. It was unbelievable.
What'd you order?
What
was your go-to? What'd you get? Mexican pizza?
No.
Chalupa?
3 Crunchwrap Taco Supremes.
Sure.
4 Taco Supremes.
Uh-huh.
And then they had this special, this unbelievable grilled stuffed steak, grilled cheese burrito.
Okay.
Holy smokes.
Okay. No, you're like me. You like to have the leftovers the next day.
It was unbelievable.
That's what you do. That's the play.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I did. Well, you feed a few people, but it was good.
You can do that too. Yeah. Good. Yeah. $40.
Paulie sounds like he's 14 years old right now. I love leftover Taco Bell the next day.
The finer things.
Yeah, sure. Michael, you have a big announcement. You ready to go? Everyone's tweeting at Mike Palm. He's going to New York.
Going to New York.
Times Square. Get John's
time.
Pizza. It's right there.
Ice Cream Museum, 9/11, Statue of Liberty, all of that. The Edge. We're flying out tonight. Get there. We land at 6:30 at JFK, and then the highlight for me is going to be tomorrow night because we're going to Yankees Padres. So thanks to the Padres for the tickets. We'll be there with our gear on. Maybe we'll be somewhere in the TV viewing area, but that'll be fun. My wife said, what time's the game start? I said, well, it's 7 there. She said, well, we don't have to stay for the whole thing, do we? I said, no, let's see Musgrove get through 5 at least. So we're excited to go to New York, and then we fly back Monday night.
Derek, Michael Jordan paid $3.5 million for a car this week. What's the most amount of money you would ever spend on something that you're just like, you have to have?
Man, that's
Are
a
you
tough
impressed by
question.
something? Does driving or riding in a car 300 miles an hour interest you at all?
No. Well, back when they had the Vegas Grand Prix, I had one of those rides where I got to go on take a lap on the course, and they have these professional drivers come up, and they kind of match you up. You got to go down one line, then your professional driver comes in, you're matched up, put the helmet on, all that. I actually randomly drew a guy that I actually heard of, and my driver was Emerson Fittipaldi.
Okay.
And I got a lap with him.
Nice.
I did one lap. You get one lap, right? It was after that lap I decided I'm never going to do this again, ever. I mean, this was unbelievable. I don't know how fast he got up to. I mean, it was a street course. I mean, I think he got up to maybe like 180 or something like that.
I bet.
That was enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, fellas, that's it. The hour flew by.
Yeah.
Can't thank you enough. Love doing it every single year. For those who missed it again, the guarantees this year, Circa Millions, is going to be $6 million, and you can get 5 entries. Circa Survivor, the guarantee has been bumped up to $8 million this year. With a twist, you can get 10 entries. That's up from 6 a year ago.
Yellow.
So $14 million overall in guaranteed entries, and sign-ups start when?
2 hours from now, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Great job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great job.
Very good.
What's your total here, Paul? Get you on the record right now.
Survivor?
Total entries.
9,400.
86.
83.
83.
Derek?
8,00001 and I'm smiling.
Barely
We're
goes
good.
over. If you miss any of it and want to go back and listen again to the exact rules, search Follow the Money wherever you get your podcast. You'll get everything.
Visit VEASAN.com to get current odds, listen for free, find showtimes, and download VEASAN's sports betting podcasts.